Hello YouTube and welcome back Blade Runner fans. As promised in the last few videos, I'm going to do a comparison between all the blasters that I own that you can see right here on my table. I have a new mouse pad and a new working surface because my old mouse pad was getting pretty dirty and it had a pretty boring background, but it had LED lights, so yeah, you can beggars can be choosers. I'm gonna start with the first blaster that I purchased, actually, that I bought, and I talked about this in a video before. This is a rubber stunt version of the Tomonosuke. It is actually made by Tomonosuke, and it is all black, all rubber, no movable parts. The triggers do not work, they have no function. This is not working, this is not working. Overall, it's just a regular stunt version. I was thinking about buying the Paragon Paragon FX version that has colored grips, but unfortunately, and removable grips, but unfortunately, they are pretty hefty when it comes to price. I already paid £230 for that, which translates to somewhat around 300 euros. And yeah, this is nothing special, but it was expensive compared to all the other guns that I own. And yeah, I just keep it for reasons and for showing and for maybe I'm gonna do a cosplay of Deckard or maybe a cosplay of Officer K, for which I would use a 3D printed version of his blaster, because I'm not going onto a convention with a full metal version of a blaster. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna risk ending in jail. So yeah, this is, as you can see, it is not really stiff. It is movable. It is pretty stable. The only thing that I fixed here, as you can see, is the visor or the screwdriver that was somewhat loose, and I used super glue to glue it on the side here. It is not the most prettiest thing, and it also has some scratches, which I guess are not from me. I guess they're from the guy who owned it before, or they are part of the production process. Also, it has some white spots on here. Like I said, it's really nothing special, but I love this version of the blaster, and this would be my go-to gun when I go out on Halloween or Carnival or whatever, or for conventions. This would be my go-to gun. Yeah, so let's continue with something that costed me more than 100 hours of work, even if you don't believe that. This is the 3D printed model, which goes by the name Enders PKD, which you can find on Thingiverse, and there are three threads on the RPF forum that you can read about this version of the blaster. It is really just a 3D printed model, but the special part is that the magazine clips in here, as you can see, with magazines, and has its electronics in this part, whereas in the Tomonosuke one there's much more room and it's much more clean. After all, this is an industrial product and this is self-made, so there's really no comparison. What I did do though, I have to be careful here, I talked about in the videos before about the fishing lights from Japan, and I tried to install on my self-made model here at least one. It didn't fit quite in. I think I'm gonna have to reprint this, or the cylinder cover. I'm gonna reprint this. I'm gonna add scratches to it. All that you can see here, the scratches, the details. I did this myself, and what happened last year was this year I started making this in January, and it was a process of, I guess, like almost 2 weeks until I had everything as I wanted it to have. And I started with just the basics. I started with getting a 3D printer. I informed myself about how to 3D print, how the cure times, or how what the best processes are for curing resin parts. And it worked at first, and I had a working model with green LEDs, with red LEDs, and I have photos of this. But unfortunately, when I handled it or put it in the showcase, I broke the middle part and I was devastated. This was a 100-hour project. Then the LEDs fell out. The cables didn't work. The contacts on the magnets didn't work. It was a disaster, you guys. And so what I did was, the only thing that is working right now in a one circuit are the red LEDs, as you can see. And I talked about this a while ago in the other videos, where I said that Michel's version of the blaster from Models and Props has, I think, the brightest lights. We're gonna get back to this. We're gonna compare them in overall brightness, and we're gonna do this. We compare this to this and to this, and this one's not working, unfortunately. I think I broke it. I couldn't get into it. It is really tightly screwed, and I don't want to break anything. So maybe I'm gonna ask some friends for help to get the LEDs back to work on Case Blaster. At the moment, it is not working. It's not too bad. I think it was my own fault. I'm not quite sure about it, how it happened. You could see that you could see it happening in the video where I showed this blaster off. So yeah, and sorry for my shaky hands. I have a really bad muscle cramp in my hand or in my arm at the moment. And the cool part about the blaster still is you can open the magazine on the 3D print one. You have to be careful. Not gonna break it here. What you can do is help a little from the other side, push it out gently, and with gently I mean really gently, not to I don't want to break anything here. That wouldn't be the first time though. Yeah, so unfortunately it's not coming out. Yeah, there it is. And what I did was I 3D printed bullets for this blaster. What I found out was that the bullets from the Tomonosuke one and the bullets from Michel's workshop are not are partly interchangeable. One of them goes in the other, but the other one don't go in the other. So yeah, there's the bullets. I was imagining like that those are like radioactive bullets, that if you wanted to kill a replicant, you would have to use radioactive bullets. And that is the white substance down here, that is UV reactive powder. And I printed them in a see-through red resin. The cylinder spins, which can be set to all those models. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty satisfied with this. What I'm most satisfied with are the grips, the color of the grips. I can't state this enough, how hard it was to find a fitting resin. And I was searching, and a month before I did this, I bought orange resin on Amazon for like 30 euros for half a liter. And I remembered that I was still owning this, and I didn't use it up. So beforehand, I was thinking about, maybe I'm gonna do the grips in see-through green, maybe in see-through blue. But I ended up with orange, and I didn't change anything. I just printed them, I fit them on, I polished them a little bit, and they came out, at least in the beginning. They're a little dirty now, but at least in the beginning they were fully see-through. And yeah, that is the version of the PKD from Thingiverse. What I also did was, for extra weight, I don't know if you can see that. It's a little fuzzy on the camera here. Not quite. I'm not quite sure if you can see that, but what I did when I point there, maybe you can see. Nah, I'm not sure if I can even catch it on camera, but what I did was I put a giant bolt in the middle of the barrel, and the barrel of course is closed, but what I did was to add some extra weight. This kicks around at 800 grams. If I compare it to the rubber blaster, I would say this is about 400 to 500 grams and this is 800. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with this. This is not for sale or anything, and I do not make them on for ordering or something, but you can find the parts for this on like Etsy or eBay, but they're quite expensive. So if you already own a 3D printer, I would go the route to print it yourself and research some screws. That was the hardest part actually, and that was what was most costly. Not the resin, not anything in regards to printing. It was the screws, the bolts, the different shapes and I'm always stuttering at this thing, at those words. The different sizes and shapes of the bolts that go through here. What I did here was on the silver, this is actually a pinched off nail that I put through here because I couldn't find the right brass rods that would go through here. So I used nails and clipped them off and fired them off a little bit and put them through here. The triggers are have resistance, and you could like theoretically it has like trigger action, but not in a way that the cylinder rotates. There is a mod for this, I think, but I didn't build it in, so that was way above my head. I just had finished this and I didn't want to destroy it again. And the hardest part on this 3D printed resin kits is that you have to fire a lot. You have to scratch off so much material. Just alone the resistance in the for the thing here that you can see here, that it moves out and that the cylinder can rotate on this, was just absurd. And there are some parts on this blaster that I didn't finish or didn't paint, and that was just my laziness. Maybe I'm gonna get back to this, and the resins and the colors that I used for this are mostly just standard gray, or the parts that are black I use black resin to print it. The butt of the gun here, I used black resin for this. I had it painted slightly different in the beginning, but I'm pretty satisfied with this. So yeah, there's my 3D printed one that I made myself and put a lot of hours into, and I'm pretty proud of, actually. And yeah, this is the most expensive one that you already know. That is the Tomonosuke one, kicked around or cost me around 1,400, taxes included. That was a pain in the ass, and I didn't pay the taxes or the custom fees for this with a pleasure. I was hoping it was going to be a lot cheaper, but they wanted like 200 something for customs and taxes. And the thing in Germany was I was fearing that they would open it up and would take it out of the box, and that this collector's item that I wanted to have would be in any way tampered or destroyed, but luckily it wasn't. And so yeah, the part that I talked about before is with the magazine, as you can see here, that is much cleaner in regard. There's even some resistors, some transistors, and if you watch my other videos, you can see that the light has a slight delay when you turn it on. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there it is. Light delay when you turn it on. And we're going to compare this now in terms of brightness to the one that I made myself. I'm going to lay them down and turn them on. As you can see, the one that I made, I don't know, maybe I can turn the light a little bit lower. Echo, Wohnzimmer 10%. That's not reacting. Okay. Fantastic, as always. So yeah, back to the video. Okay, it stopped listening. Great. And then there goes this, and wow, if you compare this to this, there is so much more brightness on the version of Michel. That is because Michel uses two entirely different batteries. I opened this up because the mechanism or the switch to turn that on was moved in a little, and I pulled it slightly back out, and yeah, what I saw in here was a really solid soldering job, nothing fiddling around, but yeah, it's really bright, and it is overall, next to my Tomonosuke one, my favorite one. This is this is a absolutely perfect collector's item that you can put in a display case, in a showcase, and don't pull out that often. Nobody is going to touch this with their bare hands as long as I'm in the room, and if I can somehow prevent it that people touch it with their bare hands. If this would open up, this would be nice. That's just the effect for show. I wanted to show something different, but let's not hold up with this. The next item that I have in my collection, and what I also found really strange on the Tomonosuke one, is that there is the overall paint job on this is not the most, don't let me say that wrong, it's not a criticism, but it's not the most, it's not the best paint job for a gun that if you would rub on this, or if you would accidentally touch anywhere, that you would get a stain. This is unfortunately where this comes from, this little white scratch here. I don't know how it got there, I just know it was there. And also this one, I don't know where I got this, but it was there. So yeah, sometimes you have to be very, very careful when it comes to your possessions and your goods, that they don't scratch up. On the other hand, the used version, or the screen accurate version that Michel sent me, has all those markings, and I'm completely fine with that. I'm completely fine with that. And this is the next thing that I'm going to discuss. Let me turn the lights off here. So yeah, as I talked about in the last video, and this is the most heavy version of the blast. Oh, I forgot something. This kicks around, I would say, it is not really comparable in terms of weight, but it has a good weight in the hand and is not too heavy. This is because, as I talked about in the other videos, that the barrel is a mixture of cold cast aluminum and resin, and this is in correlation with the Japanese gun laws. The barrel is not hollowed, and yeah, so this is, I think it's quite optimal, and I wouldn't go out with this. I totally would not go out with this or take it out of the case or take it even out of the house. This stays in my case and will never leave the house. So yeah. Now to the version that Michelle has made for me, or that I ordered from Michelle. It's the Full Metal one. It's the heaviest of the bunch. It kicks around at 1.8 kilos. It is really heavy to hold, and if you do it with one hand, and if you're not a trained gun user, your hand starts to shake. If you stretch it out too far, your hand starts to shake, and it looks ridiculous when you do that. But I'm not a trained gun user, so yeah. But still, this is the also so pretty. It has so much detail to it. It has so much richness. And what I found out when I opened this up is this is made from metal, and this is also made from metal. This is made from metal. There are no plastic parts on this, I think. And besides the grips, of course, but there are no plastic parts on this blaster. So yeah, but it still sometimes is a little sturdy to open up and to fiddle around with. It's a little stiff, and it's a little not as precise as a industrial standard machine can do. But still, this is Michel's masterpiece, I would say. Or the other guns that he has for offer are still also masterpieces, but Michel did an overall really good job with this. So yeah, there's that. And this kicks around at 1.8 kilos. This is 1.3 kilos, I would guess. This is 800 grams. This is 400 to 500 grams. I didn't weigh them. I don't always scale. And now we're gonna go. We're gonna do a little comparison with something that some of you already saw, and this is the screen used version. In the booklets there are photos of the let's start at the beginning. Don't hassle it. And this is the handbook that came with the Tomonosuke one, and in this handbook, I mean, there exists a second version of this that is even more detailed, but in this handbook there are detailed pictures of the screen used version that was exhibited at Worldcon 2006, and as you can see here, I don't know if I hope this focuses, but overall, the version that Michel has sent me is so accurate to this. Even the slide that you can see here, where is it? The silver lining on here, or the silver spot. It's not a spot, but the silver point here. Even that is on the version that Michel offers, and those are some scratch marks. Those are some there's some wear on the gun overall. Yeah, and as you can see on Michel's gun, let me put this away first. As you can see on Michel's gun, there is wear. There is not rust, so to speak, but it looks like a gun that was used over time from a real Blade Runner, and there you have this screen accurate thing here. So yeah, this is, and still I'm not getting tired of mentioning this. This is $500. This is over $1,000, or 500 euros and over 1,000 euros, or almost triple the price, a third of the price, a lot of hours, not not you couldn't weigh up the time that I put into this in money. And the last version that I'm going to compare is Case Blaster, also made by Models and Props from Michel. That is also full metal. The handle is really detailed. I love this detail. You can screw out this part and replace the battery. That really comes in handy. It's a 9-volt block battery. But unfortunately, at the moment, and what I didn't show the last time was you can put this up and like you have a little sight on there. You can see through and put it on target. And yeah, this kicks around, I would say, also around 1.3, 1.4 kilograms. It is also pretty heavy. I wouldn't recommend holding this with one hand because your hand if you're not used to holding a gun, and a real gun isn't at 1.4 or 1.8 kilograms, real gun kicks around like at maximum 1,000 grams or 1 kilo. That is the maximum for a handgun that I when I did my research, I found these numbers flying around. I'm not a gun expert though, maybe you can correct me on that. So the last thing that I wanted to show you for today is something that I have really new in my collection, and this is an actual film cell framed, and that is, as you can see, maybe I can, this time I have a flashlight lying around. It's the same frame that is big in the picture. You can see that. It's the same frame that is in the picture, just in a real high resolution and bigger. And on the back side of this, there's something, it's like a milk foil. Back on here, it's like milky or how would you say that? Milky glass, so to speak, not easy to see through glass. And on the back here stands Blade Runner, directed by Ridley Scott, produced by Michael Deeley, written by Hampton Fancher and David Peoples, was a Ladd Company release in association with Sir Ron Shaw through Warner Brothers in 1982. The film stars Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Sean Young, Edward James Olmos, Daryl Hannah, M. Emmett Wallish, William Sanderson, and Joanna Cassidy. Creative Design Art and Warner Brothers are proud to release this Cenitype, copyrighted, to celebrate the blockbuster film. I don't know when this was released, but it comes from the deluxe collector set, as it is imprinted down here, and I bought this for 10 euros, and I was pretty happy to get it. The Blade Runner Cenitype is a limited edition art graphic produced from a single frame of motion picture film and includes one frame of the corresponding film footage. This artwork began with the careful selection of a single frame of film that is digital scanned and expertly reproduced onto art paper using intricate state-of-the-art imaging and printing techniques. The film footage is an actual 35mm film frame reproduced from the, or there stands form, that's a misprint, from the actual motion picture film by master film technicians. Yeah, pretty cool. And for 10 euros you can't complain about this. And this is also standing in my Blade Runner showcase that some of you might have already seen in pictures. And yeah, this closes in the review. Last few words I have to say about the blasters. If you get into collecting Blade Runner blasters, I would recommend you starting with printing your own. Then slightly work the ladder up. You can go for a rubber version or a stunt version for, like, if you don't want to put so much money into this. Unfortunately, I have, but still. You can get this for not this specific one, not the one from Tomonosuke, but you can get the version from Paragon FX. If you live in the US, you can get the version from Paragon FX, or search eBay from time to time, and maybe you will get lucky and find one. A few months back, there was a seller in Germany actually selling 2 of those with colored grips for around 250 euros. I was thinking about buying those, but nah, I didn't do it. I don't have an endless pit of money, unfortunately. Still, yeah, Blade Runner collection is expensive, and I'm really seeing this as an investment. If for bad times, maybe I will sell some of these. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll find one day a woman that convinces me to sell them and gets pissed about my stuff that I'm collecting. But Blade Runner is just love for me. So if you start your Blade Runner collection or Blaster collection, start with cheap resin models, start with cheap 3D printed stuff, do your own research, go to the RPF. Actually, there's a thread on the RPF where someone, unfortunately I forgot his name, is offering an unpainted, unworked on set that you can put together yourself, made from pewter, also full metal, made from pewter, for around £400, which translates to roughly 500 euros. I ordered one, but the times, or the time when it gets to me, it will take a lot of time. I ordered this back in July, and he's working on the batch that comes way before my batch will be produced. And maybe he will ready with this in like the next year or so. I don't know. I didn't come back to this thread for a while, but still, if you order like a metal version of this, don't get the Tomonosuke one, because they're really expensive. They're collector's items, and if you have the money, that's fine. But at the moment, the Blade Runner 2049 version of the gun, there are 2. I have the retailer 2019 version, and that still is pretty expensive. It kicks around now at around 1,500 euros or 1,600 US dollars, up to 3,000 US dollars. I've seen prices for these things that are unbelievable and out of the park. After all, yes, that is there is a reason for that. They are collector's items, not many for sale, but still, I wouldn't recommend starting with the most expensive one. Work the ladder up, buy cheap ones first. Go to Michel's workshop on Etsy and ask him if he can produce them for you. He will be glad to help. I'm almost certain that he will do. Or the version of the case blaster, he also sometimes has them for sale on Etsy. But just ask him and he will come back to you. And he's a really nice guy. And this is not sponsored in any way. I'm not working together with Michel in any way. I just think for the price that and for what he offers, this is the best deal you can get compared to the Tomonosuke one. So yeah, and also there is no actual official release of in any way of Case Gun. There's not a collect. I think maybe Paragon FX is working on something. I'm not quite sure, but they made some. There are guys from Paragon FX on the RPF, and they mentioned a while back or they asked, one guy asked what fans wanted to see of Paragon of X, and a few people asked, hey, maybe you can do a full metal version, or at least a metal version besides the barrels of Case Blaster, and he was like, yeah, maybe we'll do. I asked, of course, if they could do the portable eye scanner from Blade Runner 2049, if they could do the Emanator. Unfortunately, my Emanator fell out of the showcase and is broken now. Sad things happen in life. And yeah, maybe we will see some other official releases from, and I hope we will see some official releases from Paragon of X, even though they outsourced the production process of their version of the gun, and there's a lot of involvement that is very not easy to see through. But I mean, there's nothing shady or illegal going on. That's not what I'm wanting to say. But it is not quite clear what differentiates the Paragon of X version that is now licensed, besides the licensing, in comparison to the Tominosuke one. I mean, licensing is fine, and there were even some reports that Alcon Entertainment, the production company of Blade Runner 2049, used versions of Tominosuke's version of the gun on set and didn't mention them in any way. So there's some things behind the scenes that we will probably never know. And the next thing on my list is I'm probably going to buy some art books in regards to the production of Blade Runner 2049. I'm going to order an art book that has art from Sid Mead, which was the original designer of the original of Deckard's original gun that didn't make it into the movie. And even for this thing and for the version that Sid Mead had in mind, there exist metal kits, there are collection kits that are unfortunately no longer available, but there is a huge rabbit hole in regards to the Blade Runner blaster. And if you go down that rabbit hole, start with the cheapest option, or weigh it up for yourself what the best option for you is. If you have a bottomless pit of money, fine, buy the Tominosuke one, exhibit it, carry it around, whatever. If you have a limited budget, go and you already own a 3D printer, go the route, print them, paint them. I used spray paint and a little weathering, and I mean, it from if you put it on in a display case, you could think it's made from metal, but overall you can see it's plastic and it's not really that shiny. I didn't want to make it that shiny. I didn't use any special colors for it. In the beginning, yes, I painted this in a chrome tone, but the chrome wasn't holding on, so I had to reprint this and repaint it, and it was a pain in the ass. As I said, this was a 100-hour project, even if you don't see it. Yeah, go the cheapest route, either this, or if you have a bottomless pit of money, go for this. Or you can go the route and repaint the rubber version, maybe. If you have knowledge on how to paint and how to work with rubber models, you can repaint the Paragon of X rubber version. But if you have the $379.99 for the Paragon version, you also are not too far away from a full metal version from Michel's workshop. And yeah, this closes in the comparison video. I think we're way over the time that I thought we were. We're at approximately 40 minutes. So yeah, thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you next time. Maybe I'll do another video in regards of Blade Runner. I don't know what it will be. What I can show you right now is I have some metal plates that I ordered from AliExpress, and a little correction in one of the last videos I said that I ordered the pins that I put on the music box, that I ordered them from Etsy. This is not entirely true. I ordered them from AliExpress, where they're way cheaper. They're also available on Etsy, but they're way cheaper on AliExpress. And what those people on Etsy do is they buy them on AliExpress and they put them up on Etsy and sell them for like 4 times the price. And the people who are not aware of this buy them on Etsy, and yeah, they're like on AliExpress, they're like €1.50, shipping not included. Then there comes like $1.50 for shipping, and this kicks around at €3. And sellers on Etsy will sell those pins, especially the unicorn one, for like 11 a piece, shipping not included. And this is way too expensive, and you shouldn't get yourself ripped. And don't get ripped online. I have a few other items that I maybe will show in future videos. I have metal signs now on my wall. I have a beanie hat with the Tyrell Corporation logo. I'm in contact with someone who maybe can make some stone coasters for me where you can put your glass on. In contact with someone who is working with leather, and maybe I'll get my holster, my original blade or screen accurate holster for the Blade Runner blaster. I don't know yet, but maybe this will happen in a few weeks or years. I don't know. So yeah, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave a comment on this video. I know my English is not the best, but I'm trying to speak fluent and not get too much hassle in it, and not to speak too much with an accent. I hopefully brought across what I wanted to bring across, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Oh, this is